right combination by Rocky. Draws a beautiful left hook counter by La Starza. Oh, his man down. La Starza has been knocked down, but never out. As he himself puts it, I know how to get up. During this, and ducking under those shots by Marciano. Watch.
Champ now.
Yes, I didn't say. What are you looking so sad about, champ?
I'm surprised at you. I mean, I'm really insulted. I mean, that's not right what you just said.
What do you mean? What I just said?
I mean, I'm gonna get a drink of water. I'm late getting home, but you talk. I said something about the greatest heavyweight champ, man. I'm a hometown man, and you talk about Joe Louis, man. Joe Louis wouldn't be nothing for me. Joe, I tell you, Joe, do you think you would have stood a chance with me?
Well, Clay, one time during my career, I went on a Bomb of the Month tour.
Bomb of the Month? I would have been a bomb compared to you.
Well, you've been on the tour.
Oh, man.
What's happening, my people? It's Cat Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before we get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Miss Cass, hashtag JBT, Mike Mazik. Salute to everyone and welcome to another episode of Cass Sports, the Box Storian. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Box Storian bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. How's everyone today? Again, welcome to the Tuesday afternoon edition of Cass Sports, the Box Storian. First, let me apologize for yesterday. Situation came up at the last minute. Like 1:59. I saw Mike Mazik and Crush the Legend was already in the chat, and I had to shut it down before we can get started. But we're gonna run it back today. Okay. What we're doing is Undisputed Boxing Champions. This past weekend, Dimitri Bivol became the 22nd Undisputed Champion in the four-belt era. And today, we are going to look at all 22 four-belt Undisputed Champions, and we are going to look at exactly how they won each belt on their way to four-belt Undisputed, all 22 of them. We're going to look at the year they won it and who they beat for it, how they won it, all 22, exactly the road they took to Undisputed. But first, a little 30-minute history lesson today. We're going to talk about the top 10 southpaws in boxing history, okay? Now I ran across this list and I co-signed because, hey, it's a good list and I agree with these top 10 guys they got for the top 10 southpaws in boxing history. So that's going to be our highlights of boxing history today. But we're right up on the meet and greet. It's this weekend coming up in New York City. Al Booger won the ticket. The join was Friday. Yep. Our own Al Booger won the ticket. And he bought his ticket to the event during my show. So congratulations, Al Booger. And remember, Al Booger, when you come in here, if you can't make it, remember who the alternate is, okay? Don't forget that. Sitting right there by D1, okay? I had no problem sitting by D1. So if you can't make it, Al Booger, just hand my ticket on over to me, okay? I'll let him know when they get in here. But how's everybody today? It's Tuesday. We're gonna do this. We was gonna do this show yesterday. The road to four-belt Undisputed. We're gonna look at all of them. There's 22 of them all together. 11 men and 11 women. We've all became the 22nd one this weekend. And of all those Undisputed champions, only 5 of them won all 4 belts at one time. The others won 1 belt here, 2 belts there, 3 belts there. But Jermaine Taylor took all 4 from Bernard Hopkins in the same fight, and Justin McCaskill took all 4 from Cecilia Brackers in the same fight. Savannah Marshall took all 4 from Franchon Cruz in the same fight. Katie Taylor took all 4 from Chantel Cameron in the same fight. And then this past Saturday, Dimitri Bivol took all 4 belts from Artur Beterbiev at once in the same fight. Only 5 have won it that way, but we're going to look at that. But let's look at these top 10 southpaws in boxing history. Okay, we're going to go from 10 to 1. Number 10 to the top one. Let's do it. Over the course of boxing history, finding great southpaw boxers are few and far in between. But when there's a great hitter from the left side, it doesn't go unnoticed. Their stance may be unconventional, but the results of the greatest boxing lefties are undeniable. Okay? So we're going to look at the 10 best southpaws in boxing history today. Now, the ranking criteria is based on style of victory, strength of competition, and reign of dominance during their prime. So let's do it. Okay, coming in at number 10 is Vasyl Lomachenko. Okay? Lomachenko, currently 18 wins, 3 losses, 12 knockouts. We got a couple of active guys and some former fighters. Thomas Hill in the building. What's up, T. Hill? We're going to look at these Undisputeds today, but first we're looking at the top 10 southpaws in boxing history. 10-1. Coming in at number 10 is Vasyl Lomachenko. Salute, T. Hill. Okay? Let's talk about Lomachenko briefly. Now, a great southpaw boxer with fluid pivoting movement and precise hand-eye coordination is none other than the 3-division world champion, Vasyl Lomachenko. Born in Ukraine and groomed from day one by his father, Anatoly, Loma has a recognizable ability to stay in the pocket against dangerous punchers while dodging them, which coined him the nickname Matrix. Much of Lomachenko's footwork can be attributed to his extensive amateur career that was capped with an Olympic gold medal, but also due to his father's inclusion of formal dancing in his son's regime. Now, while most fighters move up in weight because their bodies hold more muscle with age, Lomachenko, the consummate professional, moved up for the challenge. Still a smaller man among peers like Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney, Loma was able to give them both a run for their money and actually won in media members and some fans' eyes against those bigger men. Loma's professional record isn't as inflated as most boxers, but he will always be respected for his style and competitiveness. The Matrix, Lomachenko, but still Lomachenko at 10. Coming in at number 9 is the Macho Man, Hector Camacho. Okay, what happened? Okay, bear with me for a moment. Come on. Hector Camacho is number 9, but lost my display. Okay, here we go. Your number 9, the Macho Man, Hector Camacho. Oh, come on, man. Here we go. Hector Camacho finished his career with 79 wins, 6 losses, 3 draws, 38 knockouts. Hector Camacho was a beloved Puerto Rican fighter who hailed from New York. His colorful personality and accomplished amateur career, where he collected 3 Golden Glove titles, set him off to the races for what would be a long and prosperous professional career against some of the sport's best. While Camacho fought the elite of the elite in their primes, he was unable to get a victory over fighters like Julio Cesar Chavez, Felix Trinidad, and Oscar De La Hoya. Camacho fought all the way up to his late 40s, winning over 70 fights, numbers that aren't typical for boxing nowadays. The New York native became a 3-weight world champion using his lightning quick hands, combined with pinpoint accuracy to steamroll the competition. Macho enjoyed every facet of boxing, from going toe-to-toe with tough adversaries to dressing in wild outfits. Camacho's larger-than-life persona made him a fan-favorite fighter. And part of his legacy is that skirt thing they wear, because he was the first one to wear that. He used to wear the whole outfit like the Roman soldiers wore, the little skirt thing and the vest and the helmet. Yeah, that's part of his legacy. Hector did that. And Loma's forgot to get the toughest fights. Loma's toughest fighters would be best win, Guillermo Rigondeaux. And Camacho's best win would be Sugar Ray Leonard. Although it was an old Sugar Ray Leonard, but it still was a good winner against a big name. Sugar Ray decided to get back in there, so hey, good win for Camacho. Coming in at 8, go back a ways, Tiger Flowers. Okay? Tiger finished his career with 135 wins, just 17 losses, 8 draws, 55 knockouts. And his best win, he beat the great Harry Greb 2 times. Only man to beat Harry Greb at middleweight. 2 big wins. Harry Greb twice for Tiger. Okay? Hands down, Mr. Tiger Flowers has the best name on this list and one of the best of all time. While his last name was Tiger Flowers, that's a great name for a boxer. While his last name was a representation of something so beautiful, his style was swift and devastating. Flowers was also part of revolutionizing boxing and all sports by breaking down the color barrier in the early 1900s. After beating Harry Greb in 1926, the Georgia boxer was the first black man to win the middleweight title. Flowers was a humble fighter. He wasn't looking to irk opponents or gain attention with a boisterous attitude or by dressing in flashy attire like fellow pioneer black athlete Jack Johnson. Tiger's demeanor was calm, but his fighting style was brash. Flowers died at the very young age of 32, but his boxing legacy and triumphs live on. Tiger Flowers. Coming in at number 7, best southpaws of all time, Alexander Usyk. Current record for Usyk is 23-0 with 14 knockouts. Okay. Best win would be Tyson Fury, ×2. In the 2 heavyweight undisputed fights. He'll be on our list of the 22 all-time 4-belt undisputed champions. One of the 5 that's done it in 2 divisions, Alexander Usyk. Now, while Lomachenko's presence on this list may raise some eyebrows, the inclusion of current undisputed heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk as one of the greatest southpaws of all time should receive little debate. The fleet of foot Ukrainian heavyweight has slowly carved his way into the record books, both as a professional and amateur boxer. Before he was an undisputed cruiserweight champion, Usyk fought and won gold for his country back at the 2012 Olympic Games. The rather timid personality of the unified heavyweight champion has been a perfect fit among his peers, who tend to lean towards more chaotic fight promotion. But make no mistake about it, the shy southpaw speaks loudly with his fists. After claiming all the belts in the cruiserweight division, Usyk took the risky leap up to heavyweight, which is proven to be a brilliant move. The high output fighter has multiple wins over Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Okay, 2 of the biggest names in the heavyweight division. Multiple wins over both of them. Coming in at number 6, Joe Calzaghe. Top 10 southpaws of all time. Joe Calzaghe, number 6. Joe Calzaghe ended his career 46-0, 32 knockouts. Okay, his biggest win, Roy Jones Jr. Yeah, it was an old Roy Jones Jr., but it was still Roy Jones Jr. BoxRec don't say nothing about old Roy Jones. BoxRec just say Roy Jones Jr. So that's his biggest win. Al Booger in the building. Yeah, don't forget who the alternate is if you can't make it for that ticket, Al Booger. Yeah. But congratulations to Al Booger. Won the ticket to the fight. And I think Al Booger bought his ticket while doing Cash Sports Show. 2-4, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Congratulations, Al Booger, the winner of the raffle for the ticket to the Gervonta Davis, Lamont Roach fight this weekend. Yeah. Chris Eubank just smacked Conor Benn. Wow, really? Yeah, that's coming up. Wow. Okay. Top southpaws of all time. Number 6, Joe Calzaghe. Now, A commonality in boxing is the father-son dynamic that lives and breathes the craft on a day-in and day-out basis. This was no different for Joe Kawasaki, his father, who switched from a world of jazz music to a world of rhythmic ballads. Kawasaki operated on a high-tempo metronome with a signature output that overwhelmed opponents. Technically sound, yes, but Kawasaki was also a world-class showman. Famously, he expressed this showmanship by touring around against some of the best boxers of his generation, including Roy Jones Jr. and Bernard Hopkins. Okay? While his style was flashy and exciting, his base fundamentals were solid as gold. Kawasaki, the longest reigning super middleweight champion in history, navigated a division filled with fierce foes without a loss for 11 years. The Wales fighter finished his career with a perfect record of 46-0. His most impressive win came in the last fight of his career as he outclassed one of the best boxers in history, Roy Jones Jr., for a unanimous decision in front of a packed-out Madison Square Garden crowd. Joe Kawasaki, top 5 southpaws of all time. Coming in at number 5, Vincent Saldivar. There's Vincent Saldivar. Okay? Now, Vincent finished his career with a record of 37 wins against 3 losses, 26 knockouts. His best win was against the great legendary Sugar Ramos. Sugar Ramos. Back in around the 60s, around in that range, was a time period was Vicente Saldivar. Vincent Vicente, yeah. Now, while the 1960s boxing headlines were dominated by the big boys up at heavyweight, Mexico's Vincent Saldivar was putting together an impressive resume of his own. The former WBA, WBC, and ring champion had a great motor and would drag his opponents into a calculated clash in order to drain their energy and eventually put them away. From 1966 to 1970, Saldivar put together a 10-fight winning streak that included 7 title retentions and 6 knockouts out of those 7 defenses. While most great professional boxers come from extensive amateur background, where a crowning achievement was an Olympic medal draped around their neck, for Saldivar, he would make it count when he turned pro at the young age of 18. Though he was quick to take off the training wheels, the Mexican fighter was very patient in his counter-striking. Never deterred by his opponent's offensive attacks, Saldivar would beautifully time his responding punches, finding openings in their guards to ultimately pounce on his wounded prey. Vicente Saldivar. Coming in at number 4, Manuel Pacquiao Sr. Manuel Pacquiao. Okay, number 4. Now, Manny Pacquiao finished his career 62 wins, 8 losses, 2 draws, 39 knockouts. Best win, I would say, Miguel Cotto. Best win, Miguel Cotto. Okay? Manny Pacquiao was an elite boxer of his generation with furious combinations and a quiet confidence that spoke volumes. Though his mega fight against Floyd Mayweather Jr. was highly successful in generating huge revenue from the sport due to viewership metrics, things didn't go as expected when the Filipino fighter tried his best to crack the impeccable guard of Floyd Mayweather. Pacquiao can hang his hat on the fact that he is regarded as one of the most dangerous fighters, as he won titles in 8 divisions, okay? 8 different weight classes, only one that does that. Amanda Serrano got 7. She's still active too. Now, Pacquiao's unafraid fighting style made him a very fan-friendly fighter, but it was also the reason he ran into a few knockouts along the way. His career could be summed up in his fight for the super welterweight world title against Antonio Margarito, where Pacquiao, the much smaller man, beat down Margarito by using angles and his speed advantage. Another memorable moment for the Freddie Roach product came in the final victory of his career Pacquiao beat a younger and more powerful opponent in Keith Thurman, who put retirement on hold for just a little while longer. Pac-Man is a legend and an all-time great southpaw boxer. The Pac-Man. Top 3 southpaws of all time coming up. Number 3. Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. One memento, please. Yeah, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker, number 3. Okay? Here we go. Just hit something. Yeah, I'm always hitting something, but we're good. Yeah, we're gonna look at we got Dimitri Bivol became the 22nd 4-belt undisputed champion this weekend. We're gonna look at all 22 of them and exactly how they became undisputed, how they won each belt. Okay. Oh, I turned the phone off. That's what I did. Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker is number 3. Finishes his career with 40 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. Okay, 23 knockouts. Okay. His best win was his second fight against Jose Luis Ramirez because they cheated him in the first fight and robbed him and gave Ramirez the decision. But the second win would have got his revenge. Probably his best win. Okay, now. Probably the slickest defensive boxer on this list, Pernell Whitaker was a very fundamental fighter who took his unbelievable amateur career and spun it forward into an exceptional pro career. Sweet Pea faced his first challenge when he crossed paths with Roger Mayweather. It would be another win for the young Whitaker while also gaining his first title. Unfortunately, in order for Whitaker to level up his game and his offensive intensity, he would lose a controversial decision to Jose Ramirez. After his first loss, Whitaker remained defensive when needed, but would get in his opponent's face to force action, which would ultimately lead to more openings for finishes and fewer fights left in the judges' hands. Over the next 9 years, Sweet Pea would go on one of the greatest runs in history, stringing together a record of 25 wins, no losses, 1 draw. That was a bogus draw against Julio Cesar Chavez. That wasn't really a draw. Before running into the young and hungry Oscar De La Hoya. The loss to De La Hoya would be the beginning of the end, as the once fast-footed Whitaker was losing to the next wave of fighters. Okay? Coming in at number 2, Terrence Bud Crawford. Terrence Bud Crawford. Currently, I can give you Usyk's record. Usyk is 23-0 with 14 knockouts. Bud Crawford is currently 41-0 with 31 knockouts. Okay. Best win, Earl Spence. Best win to date, Earl Spence, because career's still going on. Putting Terrence Crawford on a list of the greatest southpaws in boxing history may seem like blasphemy, but thankfully it has been broken down that all of Bud Crawford's knockdowns and knockouts by stance to conclude that he does most of his handiwork from the left side. Crawford has been fighting for true recognition and respect, but received his flowers when he put on a near-perfect performance in the biggest fight of his career against Earl Spence Jr. It was a great way for fans to see his fight night genius on full display, and it was a stinging jab from the southpaw stance that put the finishing touches on Spence. Before stardom, Crawford had to prove to his coach, Brian Bomac McIntyre, that being a switch hitter was the best style for him. With his coach's approval, Crawford never looked back as he remained undefeated and primed for a potential massive fight in his next time out against Canelo Alvarez, right? There would be a big jump up for Bud, who won his last fight at 154. And the super fight would be at 168 pounds. But if anyone could pull this off, it would be the talented old Bud Crawford. If anybody can pull it off, it'll be Bud Crawford. Okay? And number one southpaw of all time, y'all know who it is. The marvelous one. The marvelous one. Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Finished his career 62 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws, 52 knockouts. His best win was Thomas the Hitman Hearns in that 3-round fight, the greatest 3 rounds in history. Okay? Like Crawford, Marvin Hagler was able to hit from both sides. And also like Crawford, it took the talented fighter years and years of blood, sweat, and tears to get a level of higher credit. Now, for much of Hagler's career, he was swimming upstream as he was not given an opportunity to fight for a title until he stacked a record of 46 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. His title shot against Vito Antuofermo was ruled a draw and forced Hagler to dig deeper in order to gain the respect he knew he deserved. Hagler would do what he promised and left little for the judges to decide as he would finish his career. Before the loss to Sugar Ray, he had 16 straight wins, 14 of them coming by knockout. Now, the New Jersey native had a great ability to sit down on his punches and unleash powerful shots that would find their target and wipe his opponents out. Along the way of his final stretch, Marvelous became undisputed champion. He had career-defining wins over the Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran, and Thomas the Hitman Hearns. Aside from being a phenomenal boxer, Hagler is also well known for not hanging up the gloves one fight too late. After he lost by a controversial decision to all-time great Sugar Ray Leonard, Hagler peacefully walked away from the sport with his wits intact and never looked back. Marvin Hagler. Okay, that's the top 10 southpaws of all time. Now, we are going to get into this undisputed list. 4-belt undisputed. 22 of them. Bivol became number 22 Saturday. We're going to look at each fight on the road to every one of these fighters becoming undisputed. But first, it's this weekend, y'all. Right? Got your ticket yet? You still got time. Okay?
Fight fans, it's finally here. It's Fight Week. So come join us this Friday night from 8 p.m. till midnight for an amazing network event where you can mingle with fighters, trainers, podcasters, and executives, as well as some of your favorite YouTube personalities from the JBT and others. The cost is only $30 and includes entry, food, and entertainment. There will be a cash bar, door prizes, and much more. Get your ticket today via Cash App at $JBT Network 1. That's $JBT Network 1. Or call 410-322-4365 for more information. Space is limited, so get your spot today. Another great event brought to you by the JBT. Curtis Sewell, Treasurer.
All right, thank you, Big Dre. Okay, let's get into it. All right, the road to 4-belt undisputed. Currently 11 men, 11 women, 4-belt undisputed in the 4-belt era. And we're going to look at all of them. Like I said, each fight, the year they won each belt, who they beat, how each of these 22 fighters became undisputed. Okay, we're going to look at all of them. Okay? This is going to be a good show here, I must say. Anybody that miss it? I'm sorry, you're missing out. But they'll catch it on the replay. But everybody hitting the like button. Yeah, plenty of space still available to get into the meet and greet. Meet all these great big wig JBT content creators. Okay. Me and Miss Cass will be there. Okay, let's get into the road to 4-belt undisputed. Okay. Now, what is an undisputed champion? Are there 4 or 5 belts? Okay? The WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO are the four major recognized belts and the ones you need to be in possession of to be an undisputed champion in boxing today. This has not always been the case. The WBA and WBC are long established titles, meaning undisputed champions were more common in previous eras. Now, the IBF entered the picture as a major player in the 1980s, while the WBO's ascent to the top was somewhat staggered. Although the WBO title fights, such as the British blockbuster between Chris Eubank and Nigel Benn, conferred legitimacy in some weight classes, in others, it amounted to little more than a meaningless trinket, okay? Now, for example, when WBC heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis met WBA and IBF ruler Evander Holyfield in their huge two-fight series in 1999, it was billed and recognized as an undisputed showdown. The WBO was around at that time, but this fight was considered undisputed without the WBO being involved in it. Now, while the IBF quickly entered the elite conversation by recognizing existing WBA and WBC champions as its number one fighters, the WBO's decision after its 1988 formation to allow lesser-known fighters to compete for its vacant titles meant a longer route to the main table, okay? Define Arnie One in the building. What's up, Define Arnie One? We got a treat today, Define Arnie One. Like I was telling everybody else, Dimitri Bivol became the 22nd undisputed champion in the four-belt era Saturday. 11 men, 11 women. We're going to look at all 22 and exactly the road they took to undisputed. Every belt they won, when they won it, who they beat for it, how they won it. We're going to do it all today. Got a real treat for y'all, okay? So let's continue. Yeah, the WBO took a longer route because the IBF came in and started recognizing the WBA and WBC champions as its top contenders, but the WBO was naming lesser known fighters, so they had a longer route to get to the main table. But anyway, at heavyweight, WBO champions Michael Moorer, Riddick Bowe, and Henry Akawande vacated the WBO belt to pursue the more established titles like the WBA, WBC, and IBF. However, the likes of Nassim Hamed, Joe Calzaghe, Oscar De La Hoya, and Vladimir Klitschko were among those who helped to build the organization's prestige. Okay, they gave the WBA a prestige because they were all pretty big names around that period. Okay, now in 2004, the WBC began naming WBO champions in its rankings, and the IBF recognized this rival in 2007. Below the Big Four, the IBO, or the International Boxing Organization, is the most notable world title today of the secondary sanctioning bodies, IBO. In time permitting, we're going to talk about the IBO at the end. But the IBO is not considered in the undisputed conversation. Now, the proliferation of subsidiary and alternative titles within the Big Four, such as interim, regular, super, diamond, franchise, champion in recess, silver emeritus, take your pick. These designations has also muddied the waters, right? They really have. But to be considered the undisputed champion, a fighter must be in possession of, again, the world title belts from WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO. Now, the Celebrating Ring Magazine belt, while not a sanctioning body title, the championship awarded by the American Boxing Publication, is generally revered because it cuts through the complications of the alphabet era as a single title. that recognizes the best fighter in each weight class. That's what makes the ring so great. The ring just got one champion in each weight. The ring don't have interims and super dupers and green, yellow, all that kind of stuff. The ring got one champion in each weight class. That's what makes that so great. Now, boxing's four-belt era began in 2004 when the four major sanctioning bodies came together to establish their world titles. Again, WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO. With four major world titles in circulation, it has become increasingly difficult to win and hold them all simultaneously. Yet, some very special fighters have been able to accomplish that amazing feat. Now, while moving up and down weight classes and winning world titles in multiple divisions is an incredible achievement on its own, but staying in one weight class and absolutely dominating the competition by coming undisputed is just as admirable. It takes a massive effort to do what these fighters have done. Okay? Yeah, just to stay in one class and accumulate all four belts takes a massive effort. But many of them have been dominant while doing it. And that's just proof of their otherworldly skills. Now let's take a look at these special fighters. So right now, we're just going to take a look at them, just going to name them, but in a minute, we're going to go into all their fights that they took to get to this point, okay? It's 22 of them, 11 men, 11 women. Let's do the men first. Warlock Boxing in the building. What's up, Warlock Boxing? How are you today? Got a good one for you today. Like I was telling everybody, Dimitri Bivol became the 22nd undisputed champion during the four-belt era. And today we are going to look at all 22 of them and exactly how the road they took. Every belt they won to become undisputed. We're going to cover them today. But here's the 22. Just a brief look real quick. Men first. Number one, Bernard Hopkins unified all four middleweight titles in September 2004. Number two, Jermaine Taylor won all four middleweight titles from Hopkins in July 2005. Number three, Terrence Crawford unified all four titles in two weight classes, junior welterweight in August 2017 and welterweight in July 2023. Number four, Alexander Usyk unified all four titles in two weight classes, cruiserweight in July 2018 and heavyweight in May 2024. Number five, Josh Taylor unified all four junior welterweight titles in May 2021. Number six, Canelo Alvarez unified all four super middleweight titles in November 2021. Okay? Number seven, Jermell Charlo unified all four junior middleweight titles in May 2022. Number eight, Devin Haney unified all four lightweight titles in June 2022. Number nine, Naoya Inoue unified all four titles in two weight classes, bantamweight in December 2022 and super bantamweight in December 2023. Number 10, Artur Beterbiev unified all four light heavyweight titles in October 2024. And finally, number 11, Dimitri Bivol won all four light heavyweight titles from Beterbiev this past Saturday in February 2025. Okay? Now let's look at the women. Then we're going to start breaking it down. The women. Number one, in order. Number one, Cecilia Brækhus unified all four welterweight titles in September 2014. A lot of people think Clarissa Shields was the first woman, but no, it was Cecilia Brækhus. And she was number three behind B-Hop and Jermaine Taylor. Now, Clarissa Shields was the first, not just the first woman, she was the first boxer, period, to win undisputed in two weight classes during the four-belt era. Clarissa Shields unified all four titles in two weight classes, middleweight in April 2019 and junior middleweight in May 2021. She actually went down for her second one. Number three, Katie Taylor unified all four lightweight titles in June 2019, and then she won her second weight class. She won all four junior welterweight titles from Chantel Cameron in November of 2023. Okay, Katie Taylor. Okay. And then, still with the women, number 4, Jessica McCaskill, won all 4 welterweight titles from Cecilia Brækhus in August 2020. Only 5 fighters had done that, won all 4 in one fight. Only 5. Bivol became the 5th one this weekend when he won all 4 at the same time from Beterbiev. The other ones won 1 here, 2 there, 3 there, but only 5 have done all 4 of them in one fight, okay? Like Bivol did Saturday. Okay, number 5 for the women. Franchon Cruz Dezern unified all 4 super middleweight titles in April 2022. Number 6, Chantel Cameron unified all 4 junior welterweight titles in November 2022. Number 7, Amanda Serrano unified all 4 featherweight titles in February 2023. Number 8, Alicia Baumgardner unified all 4 super featherweight titles in February 2023. Number 9, Savannah Marshall won all 4 super middleweight titles from Franchon Cruz Dezern in July 2023. Number 10, Denise Estrada unified all 4 minimum weight titles in March 2024. Finally, for the women, number 11, Gabriela Fundora unified all 4 flyweight titles in November 2024. Okay, let's break them down. Now we're going to look at all 22 of these fighters and exactly how they became 4-belt undisputed. In order. With the men. Start with the men in order. First, B-Hop was the first 4-belt undisputed champion in history, remember? Bernard Hopkins. Let's talk about B-Hop. B-Hop did it. Okay. American boxing legend, Bernard Hopkins. Bernard the Executioner Hopkins, also known as the Alien, is one of the greatest fighters in the history of the sport of boxing. His body of work certainly precedes him. And in 2004, he became the first ever undisputed world champion in boxing's 4-belt era. Hopkins first won the IBF middleweight world title with a TKO win over Segundo Mercado in 1995. He defended that belt successfully for many years. In 2001, the Executioner added the WBC middleweight world title to his collection with a victory against Keith Holmes. In his next fight, Hopkins took the WBA belt from Felix Trinidad in another knockout performance. Then, in perhaps his signature victory, Hopkins knocked out Mexican-American star Oscar De La Hoya in the 9th round to claim the WBO middleweight world title. That win made him the first 4-belt undisputed champion in boxing history. That's how B-Hop got all 4 of his belts, okay? Let me take a drink real quick. All right. People out there listening to all that nonsense, listen to this good content. Yo, they're listening to who's beefing on Twitter and what's going so war to the ring, sir. This is where it's at right here. Has Sports bringing you all that boxing history. Now, after Bernard Hopkins' reign over the middleweight division, there was Jermaine Taylor. And Bad Intentions was knocking guys out on a consistent basis, hitting into his matchup with the Executioner. That made his fight against Hopkins a highly anticipated, and Taylor delivered. In fact, Taylor took all 4 middleweight belts from Hopkins in 2005, a mere year after the Executioner became the undisputed king. It was a close fight, but Taylor pulled out a razor-thin split decision victory to capture the WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO middleweight world titles. Only one of 5 people to win them all in one fight. Okay, I really thought it was more, but only 5 won all 4 in one fight. Now, before Dimitri Bivol's win Saturday, Taylor was the only man to win an undisputed title by winning all 4 belts at the same time in one fight, because the other 3 were women. Bivol was only the second man to do it when he took all 4 from Beterbiev Saturday. Now, Taylor fought Hopkins in a rematch months later and won again, taking a clear-cut unanimous decision to solidify his reign atop the division. I'm sorry, I didn't even change it. That's one. That's Taylor. Yeah, I was supposed to change it to Taylor at the Hopkins. But yeah, Taylor won the rematch to solidify his reign atop the division. Okay, I'm gonna change it this time. My bad. Crush, the legend in the building. What's up, Crush? Great job this morning as usual. Crush the legend. Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Putting it down over there, man. Crush the legend is the realest person I know, man. Crush will tell you like your T.I. Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. I've been telling y'all, hey, you lead the horse to water, but he gotta drink himself. So I've been telling y'all about Crush, you know. And I led y'all to the water, you gotta drink it. But I be over there every morning, getting up at 6 o'clock and retired, man. I'm supposed to sleep till 11, 12 o'clock. Crush got me getting up 6 o'clock in the morning, but it's worth it. Salute, Crush. And plus, he my nephew. Okay, now let's move on. But today, Crush, we are looking at all the 4-belt champions and undisputed champions in the 4-belt era, and we're going to look at how each one of them won their undisputed, how they won each belt, okay? And we covered B-Hop and Jermaine Taylor, the first two men. Now, the third man to do it was old Bud Crawford, remember? Okay? Bud Crawford was the third man to be undisputed in the 4-belt era. Pound for pound, King Terrence Bud Crawford still doesn't nearly get the respect he deserves, given his body of work. But there's no denying his status as one of the most accomplished fighters of the current era. The undefeated American first captured the vacant WBO super lightweight title with a technical knockout victory over Thomas DeLorme in 2015. Yeah, Bud did it in 2 divisions too. One of 5 that's done it in 2 divisions. First belt was his first division was super lightweight. His first belt was the WBO technical knockout Thomas DeLorme. He then added the WBC belt with a unanimous decision win against Victor Postol the following year, okay, which was 2016. Then, in 2017, Crawford unified the world titles, collecting both the 3rd and 4th belts, the IBF and WBA super lightweight belts from Julius Ndongo, to become the undisputed ruler of the 140-pound division. Now, after moving up to welterweight, Crawford defeated Jeff Horn by a 9th round TKO to get his first belt at welterweight, which was the WBO, okay, in 2018. Okay. Then in 2023, Crawford became the first men's 2-weight undisputed champion in the 4-belt era. He took 3 off of Earl. Remember, he took the IBF, WBA, and WBC. That was a 9th round TKO. They gave him his second undisputed in the 4-belt era. He already had the WBO, remember? So Bud became the first man to be undisputed in the 4-belt era and the 3rd overall person to be undisputed in the 4-belt era. First man to become undisputed in 2 weight divisions, but the 3rd to be undisputed overall, okay? Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So I'm going to tell you how each one of these 22 4-belt undisputeds did it. I promise you. Next was after Bud, Melanie Queen 27 in the building. What's up, Melanie Queen? We're looking at the 4-belt undisputeds today. Melanie Queen got all the information you need. We was just talking about the meet and greet a little while ago, and if you want to donate to the cause or come to the meet and greet, you hit that link Melanie Queen has, and that will take you straight to the Cash App, and you can you're in. $200. You had me discombobulated yesterday, Cass. I was looking crazy at 200. Let me see. I'm trying to kind of lost me, Melanie. Crazy at 200. Was that yesterday? Let me think on that. But salute Melanie Queen. Okay. Yeah, just hit that link Melanie Queen got, and that'll take you straight to the Cash App. Donate to the cause or buy your ticket for $30. The event is Friday. Okay, but after Bud Crawford, hard-hitting southpaw Alexander Usyk is currently the WBA, WBC, and WBO World Heavyweight Champion, one of only 5 boxers to be undisputed in 2 weight classes in the 4-belt era. Previously, Usyk held the undisputed Cruiserweight Championship from 2018 to 2019, being the first boxer in that division to hold all 4 major world titles, okay? He is widely regarded as one of the greatest Ukrainian boxers of all time and one of the greatest cruiserweight of all time. He is one of only 3 boxers to have unified the cruiserweight division and then become champion at heavyweight. Usyk won the WBO Cruiserweight Championship in 2016 with a 12-round unanimous decision over Krzysztof Glowacki. Then he added the WBC strap in 2018 with a majority decision over Maris Briedis. In his very next fight, also in 2018, he defeated Murat Gassiev by unanimous decision to win the WBA title. He completed his undefeated run at cruiserweight in his 3rd fight in 2018 by knocking out Tony Bellew. His undisputed run. Knocked out Tony Bellew in the 8th round to claim the IBF belt. Usyk got one of them that got all 4 of them at 4 different fights. One by one. But the final piece to the puzzle was the IBF belt, okay? To become undisputed at cruiserweight. Then Usyk moved up to heavyweight in 2019. He became unified heavyweight champion in 2021 by defeating Anthony Joshua by unanimous decision, picking up the WBA, IBF, and WBO titles. He got 3 of them at one time. Oh, you mean when I didn't come on? Yeah, I was right up to 159, and then something came up, Melanie Queen, and I had to cancel it, had the show set up and everything. Yeah, it was crazy. I'm talking about last minute. I had a situation at 159. Yeah. But yeah, I apologize for that, but we getting it in today. Okay. Yeah, I forgot what you was talking about for. Yeah, yesterday was a trip, but everything's okay. All's well that ends well. Okay. But yeah, Usyk got 3 of his first 3 belts at heavyweight in one fight from AJ, remember? Got the, what were they? Again, WBA, IBF, and WBO. He retained those titles by winning the rematch. Remember, him and AJ had the rematch against AJ the following year, this time by split decision. Then in 2024, he completed his journey to undisputed at heavyweight, taking the WBC title from Tyson Fury by split decision. That win also made Usyk the first 4-belt undisputed heavyweight world champion and one of 5 boxers to be undisputed in 2 weight classes in the 4-belt era. Alexander Usyk, okay? Then, after Usyk, let's move on. Okay? Josh Taylor is the second Scotsman in history to become an undisputed boxing world champion and the first from the United Kingdom to accomplish the feat in the 4-belt era. Taylor won the IBF Super Lightweight World title from Ivan Baranchyk in 2019, capturing the belt by 12th round unanimous decision. In his next fight, Taylor added the WBO Super Lightweight strap to his collection with a close majority decision over Regis Prograis. In 2021, the Tartan Tornado sent Jose Ramirez crashing to the canvas twice to capture the WBC and WBO belts to establish his dominance in the division. That made him the undisputed world champion at super lightweight. He got his last 2 belts in the same fight. Okay, Josh Taylor was next. Okay, after Josh Taylor, Mexican boxing superstar Canelo Alvarez is one of the greatest fighters of his generation. He is a multiple division world champion, but arguably his greatest work has taken place in the super middleweight division, where he reigned as undisputed king. Okay, let's see how Canelo did it. Canelo captured the WBA and the WBC super middleweight belts with a decision victory over Callum Smith in 2020. He later added the WBO super middleweight title with a stoppage win over Billy Joe Saunders in 2021. Remember the European tour? Later that year, he became the undisputed super middleweight champion, adding his fourth belt after his 11th round technical knockout victory over Caleb Plant, in which he added the IBF world title to his collection. That's how Canelo became 4-belt undisputed, okay? Let's move on to the next person. We're looking at all the 22 undisputed champions, doing the men first. Exactly how they did it, okay? Next was Mel, okay? American fighting sensation Jermell Charlo is one half of boxing's incredible Charlo twins and was undisputed super welterweight world champion. Charlo had long held the WBC super welterweight title before he suffered his first career defeat to Tony Harrison in 2018. But after he regained the belt in a rematch a year later, Charlo went on a belt collecting spree. He defeated Jason Rosario in 2020 to lift the WBA and IBF super welterweight world titles. Now, his first attempt at undisputed ended in a draw against Brian Castano, remember, 2021. That was his first attempt at undisputed. But a rematch the following year finally cemented it as he added the WBO, the fourth strap, to his trophy case to become undisputed at junior middleweight. Jermell, okay? Yeah, everything's okay, Melanie Queen. Appreciate you. Yeah, I know I didn't come on. Nope, I sure didn't. Okay, after Mel. Who was after Mel? Okay, yeah, after Mel was Devin. Yeah, Devin. Okay. The next addition to the undisputed world champions in boxing's 4-belt era list was unbeaten 23-year-old Devin the Dream Haney, right? The young American earned the WBC lightweight world title when he was elevated as the champion after the previous WBC lightweight champion, Vasily Lomachenko, was designated to franchise champion by the WBC, okay? Now, George Kambosos won the WBA, IBF, and WBO lightweight belts from Teofimo Lopez in 2021 and was looking to become an undisputed world champion himself. However, Haney spoiled that party for Kambosos in June of 2022 to earn the distinction himself after beating Kambosos by a 12-round unanimous decision in Melbourne, Australia, and lifting those 3 belts off of Kambosos, which was the WBA, IBF, WBO, to add it to the WBC Haney already had to become undisputed champion. Okay? Got a couple more men, then we're going to get to the women. I'm going to do all 22 of them. After Devin was the Monster. The next man to win the ranks of undisputed in the 4-belt era was Naoya Inoue, and certainly not the least. Inoue is number 1 or 2 pound for pound best on most lists, including Box Story and Cash Sports. The Japanese superstar is one of only 5 boxers to be undisputed in 2 weight classes in the 4-belt era. Inoue won his first title at bantamweight in 2019, defeating Emmanuel Rodriguez by 2nd-round knockout for the IBF belt. Next, he picked up the WBA strap with a unanimous decision over Nonito Donaire, also in 2019. Then in 2022, he stopped Donaire again. Well, he didn't stop him the first time, but he beat him again by stoppage this time in the 2nd round for the WBC title, taking a belt from Donaire for the 2nd time. Later in 2022, Inoue knocked out Paul Butler in the 11th round. Remember, Paul ran for like 10 rounds. The Monster finally caught him in the 11th, knocked him out, winning the WBO title, which was his 4th belt. That made him the undisputed champion of the bantamweight division. Okay? So then, after moving up to super bantamweight, the Monster dominated Stephen Fulton in 2023, stopping him in round 8, picking up the WBC and WBO strap. Then later that same year, 2023, the Monster dealt with Marlon Tapales, knocking him out in the 10th round and adding the IBF and WBO super bantamweight titles to his collection. So the Monster did a 2-2, took 2 from Coolboy, 2 from Tapales. They made him 4-belt undisputed at super bantamweight, his 2nd division, one of 5 people. Okay, a couple more men to do it. These 2 did it recently. Next was Artur Beterbiev. Okay, now many people called Artur Beterbiev invincible, and he looked like he was just that, stopping his first 20 opponents at the professional level. Beterbiev won his first major title in 2017, defeating Enrico Colling by 4th round knockout to win the vacant IBF light heavyweight title. Then, in 2019, he added the WBC title with a 10th round knockout, TKO, against Alexander Voznik. He added his 3rd title at 175 in 2022 with a 2nd round TKO win against Joe Smith to win the WBO strap. So Beterbiev did it four separate fights too. Picked them up one at a time. Finally, in 2024, he took a 12-round majority decision from Dimitri Bivol, winning the WBA title and becoming the first undisputed light heavyweight champion in the 4-belt era. Beterbiev lost the rematch and the undisputed title to Bivol this very past weekend. Okay, and so finally, the last man to join the ranks of undisputed in the 4-belt era was Bivol. Now, they say the 3rd time is the charm, but for Dimitri Bivol, it was the 2nd time when he won the rematch against Artur Beterbiev Saturday, becoming only the 2nd man to win all 4 major belts at the same time in the same fight. Jermaine Taylor was the first man to accomplish that feat when he won all 4 belts from Bernard Hopkins in 2005. So Bivol and Taylor took the short, quick route. They won them all in one fight. Not many have done that. Bivol completed the first piece of the undisputed puzzle when he was elevated. Well, he got all 4 in one fight, but this is how he got to this point. First, he was elevated from interim WBA champion to full WBA champion in 2017. After 7 years and 11 successful defenses of his WBA title, he faced Beterbiev in 2024 for the undisputed light heavyweight championship, losing by majority decision. Then the immediate rematch was this past weekend. It was won by Bivol by another razor-thin majority decision. Before Saturday, his win over Canelo Alvarez was his biggest, but now becoming the 2nd undisputed light heavyweight champion in the 4-belt era is the highlight of Bivol's career. Okay, let's look at the women now. Okay, we got 11 men and 11 women. Okay, let's look at the 11 women in order and exactly how they won all 4 of their belts to become 4-belt undisputed. Okay, now we working with. Okay, good time. Yeah. Okay. No. Norwegian boxer Cecilia Brækhus was the first woman to be an undisputed champion in the 4-belt era, not the GOAT. She reigned as an undisputed female welterweight champion from 2014 to 2020. She won her first title at welterweight in 2009, defeating Vinny Skogard by a 10-round unanimous decision, becoming the WBC champion. She also claimed the vacant WBA title in that fight. She won 2 belts in that fight, WBA, WBC. Then he won the WBO strap in 2010, outpointing American Victoria Cisneros by unanimous decision. She completed her run to the welterweight undisputed championship in 2014 for win against Ivana Habazi, a unanimous decision. That made her the first Norwegian and the first woman to hold all 4 major world championship belts in a weight division in boxing. And that was at 147. Cecilia Brackers. First woman not to vote. I keep saying that. I used to think it was the GOAT too. But the GOAT was the first woman, not only the first woman, the GOAT was the first boxer, period, to win undisputed in the 4-belt area in 2 weight division. And the second woman to be undisputed in 4 weight classes was the GOAT. There's the GOAT on the left. That's her and Savannah Marshall. Clarissa Shields has been the dominant force of the women's undisputed era, becoming 2-time undisputed champion in the 4-belt era before any other boxer, male or female, okay? Known as the GOAT. In her 16-fight professional career, she's been worthy of that title, and she's widely thought of as one of the best women's boxers in the history of the sport of boxing. Shields' first undisputed reign was at middleweight. In 2018, he defeated Hannah Gabriel by unanimous decision, winning the vacant WBA and inaugural IBF middleweight belt. Okay? In 2019, he became the undisputed women's middleweight world champion, unifying the WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO middleweight titles after defeating Christina Hammer by unanimous decision. Okay? And in that fight, she picked up the WBC and WBO because she had the IBF and WBA in the Gabriel fight. But after what's the first one? Hannah Gabriel. Christina Hammer fight made her undisputed. Okay, picked up the other 2. Then in 2020, she won the vacant WBO junior middleweight. She went down. Won the junior middleweight title with a unanimous decision over Ivana Habazi. In 2021, Shields defeated Marie-Eve Dicaire by unanimous decision to become undisputed in her second weight class in the 4-belt era. To be the first boxer to accomplish that milestone, male or female. She picked up 3 belts in that fight. Okay, he had the Harbison, you got the WBC. Oh, you got the WBA, IBF, and WBC in the next fight, which was Marie-Eve Dicaire. Made her undisputed in her second weight class, the first one to ever do it. Yes, she was. Okay. After the GOAT, got another 2-division person, Katie Taylor. There's Katie. Okay. KT. Now, let's see how Katie became undisputed in her weight classes, okay? So I'm going to tell you all of them, how they did it. Katie Taylor is one of the 5 boxers to be 2-division undisputed in the 4-belt era. She is in the top 3 on most pound-for-pound lists for women's boxing, including Boxtorian Cast Sports listing. Yeah, that's one of the most prestigious ones, Cast Sports list. You know, ESPN, Box Rec, TBRB, they all usually follow what Cast Sports put on. They usually, follow right behind. You know how it is, yeah. But anyway, Katie's, with her career currently still active, Katie's already a lock for first ballot International Boxing Hall of Fame inductee. Yeah, she's a lock for first ballot. After winning the WBA lightweight title in 2017 and the IBF title the following year, her unification victory over Delphine Persoon in 2019 made her the undisputed ruler of the division. Okay? Then, in 2023, Taylor became undisputed in her second division, super lightweight, when she defeated Chantel Cameron by a majority decision in their rematch. And in that rematch, She took all 4 belts from Chantel at one time. Only one of 5 fighters to win Undisputed in the one single fight. I thought it was more, but only 5 had done it in one fight. Yeah, only 5, okay? So now, after KT, who was the next woman that did it? After KT, who is that? Well, that's Cass Killer. That's McCaskill. Another member of Box Story and Cash Sports Top 10 pound for pound list, Jessica McCaskill, was ranked as the best active female welterweight by Ring Magazine in 2020. They probably heard me say that. Cass Killer took the short and quick route to undisputed status by dethroning long-reigning undisputed welterweight queen Cecilia Bracken, who was still in possession of all 4 major titles when McCaskill defeated her. McCaskill is another one of the 5 that won all 4 in one fight. Took the short, quick, sweet route. You know. Next was Fran John. Next woman to become 4-belt undisputed. Undisputed in the 4-belt era was Fran John. Okay. Fran John Cruz Dezern last fight was her 20th. She had fought in the wall. Was 2023 win over Shadeja Green after losing her undisputed crown to Savannah Marshall earlier that year, 2023. In May 2022, Fran John was ranked as Ring Magazine's and BoxRec's best active female super middleweight. And Fran John was the ruler of the division before they lost to Marshall. Now let's look at Fran John's road to undisputed status. She won her first professional world title in 2018, beating Maricela Cornejo for the vacant WBC super middleweight title by majority decision. In a rematch in 2019, Fran John retained the WBC title and won the WBO title that Cornejo had picked that up since she had lost the WBC to Fran John. So now Fran John took the WBC and the WBO from Cornejo in 2 separate fights. This time she beat Cornejo by unanimous decision. Cruz Dezern picked up both the WBA and IBF belt by defeating Elin Cederroos in 2022 by unanimous decision. And then those 2 belts, that win made Cruz Dezern the undisputed champion of the super middleweight division. Okay, she got the WBA and IBF from Cederroos. Follow 2 pieces to the puzzle for Fran John. That's how she got it. Next, Chantel Cameron. Okay. Yeah, Bivol, man, he is. Yeah. I don't think we ever gonna see a 3rd fight between them 2. I just don't think so. Because I heard some talk about him, Bivol fighting Benavidez, and by then, goddamn, Benavidez be damn near 41. So what kind of shape is? I don't think we're gonna see 3. If we see 3, Benavidez better get Bivol right back in there next. But if Bivol fight Benavidez, that's Father Time is coming up. Benavidez sidewalk right now, and Bivol fight Benavidez, Father Time gonna be to knock that door down, man. So no, I don't think we're gonna see 3. Not unless they fight another immediate rematch like they did the other one, around June or something, June, July in the summer. But if you fight Benavidez first, it'll be damn near 2026. You know, before they get their 3rd fight, and he'll be almost 41 by then. So no, I don't know. I really don't see a 3rd fight between them 2. I really don't. You know. Father Time is undefeated, right? Okay, Chantel Cameron. That's Chantel on the right. No, wait a minute, I didn't change it. Let me see, Cass. What are you doing, man? Running my mouth. The Defiant Army got me talking about Bivol and threw me off. I blame it on the Defiant Army. Okay. Chantel Cameron. I forgot what she looked like. Kayla Mayer. That's Chantel on the right. Okay. Yeah. Chantel is next. Chantel Cameron had those 2 classic fights against Katie Taylor in 2023. They were 2 majority decisions. Okay. One judge had both fights a draw. Both fighters' only loss came to each other. Fan-friendly fights. That matchup had trilogy written all over it, man, but we never got it for whatever reason. That was a trilogy setup if I ever seen one, but they just let it go at that 1-1. 2 majority decisions. The only loss came to each other. What more you need to do a trilogy, man? But Katie went for the Amanda again, so hey. But yeah, it didn't happen. They also faced each other in the amateurs. Yeah, they fought in the amateurs. But anyway, Cameron's journey to Undisputed began when she won the vacant WBC Junior Welterweight title in 2020, beating Adriana Araujo by unanimous decision. The next year, she picked up the IBF strap with a unanimous decision over Murray McGee. In 2022, she added the vacant WBA and WBO belts to the collection with a unanimous decision over Jessica McCaskill, and that makes 4. That made her the super lightweight undisputed champion of the world. Okay? Then came the real deal. Oh, Lord, I done got my damn slide display out of order. Now I'm going to have to find her. Amanda Serrano's supposed to be next. You fine, Arnie? You got me out of whack. No, I got to blame it on somebody. It's not your fault. Yes, it is. Amanda Serrano. Yeah, I got everything out of order. Where's Amanda Serrano? You know what Amanda Serrano look like? Oh my goodness, man. That's the last one. That can't be. There she go, right there. Nope. That's the tower in the front old sister. I'm gonna find her. I was running my mouth and got everything out of water. Yeah, Amanda was next though. Is that her? Nope. I believe this is her here. Yes, Amanda, on the left. This thing is all out of order. Anyway, Amanda was after Chantel Cameron. Let's talk about how Amanda got it. The real deal, Amanda Serrano is a champion in 7 weight divisions, right behind Manny. And she's another star female boxer that's already stamped her ticket to a first ballot induction into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Yeah, Amanda is in first ballot. She's also another top 3 entrant on most, if not all, women's boxing top 10 pound for pound lists, including the leader of them all, Cash Sports the Box Historians. Okay? Now let's take a look at the route Amanda took to undisputed status. In 2011, Amanda won the vacant WBC featherweight title by defeating Jennifer Scott in the first round by knockout. In 2016, she won the vacant WBO title by first round TKO of Oliver Derula. Then, in 2022, she added the IBF strap from Sarah Moffat by a 10-round unanimous decision. The final piece to the undisputed puzzle for Amanda was the WBA strap. She won that in 2023 by defeating Erica Cruz by a 10-round unanimous decision. That victory made Amanda the undisputed featherweight world champion in her 47th professional fight. Okay, now, man, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. This thing is back in order. I don't know how it happened. Next is Alicia Baumgartner. Ain't that Alicia? In the world? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't out of order. I don't know. Anyway, Alicia Baumgartner is next. Damn, that's crazy. It's back in order. Alicia Baumgartner, also known as AB, has been the undisputed female super featherweight champion since 2023. Yeah, I believe she still got all 4 belts. I don't think she lost anything when she had that drug test positive. Now she won her. Let's look at how she did it anyway. She won her first title in 2021, winning the WBC title by defeating Terry Harper by 4th round TKO. Okay. Next came the IBF and WBO belts for win over Michaela Mayer in 2022 by split decision. Remember that one was on that? Wasn't that one on the Clarissa Shields and what's the UK girl, British girl name? You know, the big British girl, Savannah Marshall. The all women's fight, all women's card. I think that was the first all women's pay-per-view card or something like that from England. Yeah, I think that was on that one. But she got a second belt against Michaela. Then I think she won 2 in the last fight. But she became undisputed world super featherweight champion in 2023 when she beat Alhaim Makhalad by unanimous decision and added her 4th strap, the WBA, to her collection. That's 1-1. Okay, yeah. She got the WBC in 2021. Next came the IBF. Okay. Then came the WBO. Then came the WBA, right? That's 4, right? Undisputed. Yep. Super featherweight, 130. Let me see if Savannah Marshall is next. It's in order. Yeah, there's Savannah. If Savannah Marshall was next, nope, it ain't. There's Savannah right there. It wasn't back in order. There's Savannah Marshall. Is that Shadeja Green? No, she's not before Shadeja Green this year. No, I don't know who that. I thought that was Shadeja Green. No, but that's Savannah. I thought that was Shadeja she was fighting, but no, that's not her. Okay. Next was Savannah Marshall. A couple more women to go. And then we're going to talk about some of these secondary. Since these undisputed, you got to be WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO. We're going to talk about some of the secondary sanctioning bodies, like the IBO. I've seen the IBO on some pretty big name fighters. I think Bud had the IBO at welterweight. I think him or Earl. But yeah, the IBO, I've seen that on some pretty big name fighters, but not one of the big 4. We're going to talk about them, though, like the IBO. The WIBF, a big women's sanctioning body, has nothing to do with the IBF, which sanctions men and women's fights. The WIBF is separate. The Japan Pro Boxing Association, we're going to talk about some of them. But let's see how Savannah I think Savannah got all hers at one time. Savannah remains the only boxer ever to have defeated the GOAT, Clarissa Shields. The fight took place in the second round in the amateur level. Second round of the 2012 Amateur International Boxing Association Women's World Boxing Championship. The Silent Assassin is another of the small number of boxers that have actually defeated a reigning undisputed champion in the 4-belt era. You know, when they had all 4 belts. Only 5 of them done that. She beat Franchon Cruz-Dezurn in 2023, while Cruz-Dezurn was in possession of all 4 major titles. There's only 5 boxers that have won all 4 major titles in one fight. Okay, only 5 of them. Okay, I'm gonna name them for you again. Bivol became the 5th this weekend, matter of fact. Remember, he took all 4 from Beterbiev. Yeah. Only 5. I thought it was more, but only 5 have done that. Here they are right here. Jermaine Taylor took all 4 from Bernard Hopkins in the same fight. Justin McCaskill took all 4 from Cecilia Brackers in the same fight. Katie Taylor took all 4 from Chantel Cameron in the same fight. Savannah Marshall took all 4 from Franchon Cruz-Dezurn in the same fight. And this weekend, remember, Beterbiev had all 4. Dimitri Bivol took all 4 from, what's the name? Artur Beterbiev in the same fight. Only 5 have done that. I thought it was more, but only 5. Yeah, that's it. Okay, a couple more. Next, after Savannah Marshall was Denise Estrada. This Denise. Okay. Denise Estrada is one of the last few boxers to accomplish the feat of becoming undisputed in the 4-belt era. Having reached that status in 2024, let's see how she did it. She won her first title at minimum weight, 105, in 2021, when she picked up the WBA belt by a 10-round unanimous decision victory over Annabelle Ortiz. In 2023, she retained the WBA title and won the WBC belt with a 10-round unanimous decision over Tina Ruppert. Finally, in March 2024, Estrada defeated Yocasta Valle. Also, I saw that fight too. Also by a 10-round unanimous decision, winning the WBA title, her fourth one, becoming the undisputed world minimum weight world champion, minimum weight champion, 105. Yeah, because she won the she got two of them in one fight, I believe. Remember? She got the now I'm confusing myself. This was confusing when I was doing this. Okay. The first title was the WBA. That's one. Then she won the WBC. WBO was the final one. She got the IBF. Well, she gets 4 belt undisputed, trust me. Okay, and finally, the last one is the towering inferno sister, Gabriella. There's Gabriella. Right there. Okay, now. Gabriella Fundora is an undefeated American boxer and the youngest undisputed flyweight title holder in history. Fundora is trained by her father, Freddie Fundora, and her older brother, Sebastian Fundora, is also a professional boxer and world champion at the professional level. She is 5'9" tall with a reach of 69 inches, so she usually has a significant height and reach advantage, competing at flyweight 112. Let's look at the road Fundora traveled to reach undisputed, okay? She won her first title in October 2023 by defeating Aurelie Lucino with a 5th-round knockout. Then, a year later in November 2024, she completed her journey to undisputed, winning the WBA, WBC, and WBO titles with a TKO in the 10th round against Christina Cruz. Got the last 3 in the same fight. That win made her the first undisputed flyweight world champion in the 4-belt era, male or female. Okay, Gabriella Fundora. Now let's talk about some of these secondary titles. You know, like the IBO. Okay, the International Boxing Organization. We'll touch on them. Now, light blinding, but I can't see without bad 65-year-old eyes. You know, hey, you know, I've been seeing all of these eyes for a long time, 6 decades plus 5 years. So they're not the best. You know what I mean? But anyway. The International Boxing Organization. The IBO was founded in 1988 and incorporated in Illinois in 1992 by John W. D'Adorno. Now, the organization was later moved to Florida in 1997 and incorporated in Florida at that time. Now, Ed Levine, who continues to serve as the organization's president, became a partner and president of the IBO at that time. It is an independent organization, not recognized by the Big Four, you know, governing bodies, WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO, who only recognize each other in their ranking and title unification rules. Now, despite this, as of 2023, IBO titles have been unified with titles of the Big Four in several weight divisions. And while the IBO operates independently of the Big Four, its titles being unified with the WBA, IBF, and WBO in certain divisions demonstrates how these organizations work together, despite initial rivalries. Now, the IBO permits only one world champion per weight division. Now, like they don't have no interims and super dupers and all that stuff. One weight champion per weight division, International Boxing Organization. We have never had more than one champion per weight division, nor will we ever, said the president, Adley Vine. In addition to world champions, IBO recognizes regional champions, including the Intercontinental Champion. Now, if an IBO Intercontinental Champion successfully defends his title 3 times, he may receive a mandatory opportunity for the world title. Okay? Now, the organization implemented a computerized system, the Independent World Boxing Rankings, in the late 1990s. They removed subjective elements from the rating in an effort to bring more credibility to the sport. From 2014, the organization now employs BoxRec, the Independent Boxing Records and computerized rankings website, to produce IBO's ranking. Now, the IBO claims their use of technology in rankings improves transparency and credibility in boxing. The other sanctioning bodies, such as the WBC and WBA, have long and storied histories, but both have come under fire for some of their rankings, which many argue are more reflective of promoters and political influence than fighters' actual abilities. That is so true. Now, some notable past IBO champions are Nonito Donaire, Marco Antonio Barrera, Nassim Hamed, Manny Pacquiao, Ricky Hatton, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Sergio Martinez, Landy Lara, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., Antonio Tarver, Thomas Hearns, James Toney, Lennox Lewis, Tyson Fury, Vladimir Klitschko, and Anthony Joshua. I told you I've seen some pretty big names with that IBO beside it, man. Yeah. Now, some other secondary sanctioning bodies are the American Boxing Organization, or the ABO. The ABO is an American nonprofit company based in Illinois. This grassroots boxing organization is the only one in the world with former world champions that sit on the board of directors, okay? The American Boxing Organization has a founder, president, vice president, ranking chairman, and chairman. These positions allow the organization to make decisions regarding rankings and allowing fighters that are qualified to compete for vacant titles. Now, there have been multiple boxing organizations with the name International Boxing Union, including one founded in 1996 and another that operated from 1913 to 1946. Now, the IBU from 1996. Founded in 1996 in Athens, Georgia, it's a professional boxing sanctioning body based in Georgia. Some notable former IBU champions include Shannon Briggs, Fast Eddie Chambers, Gary Belletto, and Gregorio Vargas. Now, the IBU from 1913 to 1946 recognized world title fights in the early 20th century, became the European Boxing Union in 1946. Okay, became the European Boxing Union in 46. Now, the International Boxing Association, or the IBA, okay, a non-profit organization that sanctions professional and amateur boxing, one of the oldest boxing federations in the world, okay, the IBA. The Japan Pro Boxing Association, the JPBA. Now, the Japan Pro Boxing Association is the current governing body for professional boxing in Japan. It was formed through a series of changes to the All Japan Professional Kento Association, which was established in 1931. The All Japan Professional Kento Association was created to develop professional boxers and establish championships. In Japan, boxers can get a C, B, or A license. A C license is for novices. A B license is for good amateur fighters. And a C license allows boxers to participate in longer fights to get a license. To longer fights. To get a license, boxers must pass a written test and a practical protest fight. Okay, you must actually participate in a fight. Get tested in a fight to get a license. Wow. The Women's International Boxing Federation. Okay, this is one of the big ones for the women. Women's International Boxing Federation. WIBF. The WIBF is one of the more recognized world championship fight sanctioning organizations in women's boxing. Okay. Founded in March 1989, it is based in Miami, Florida, and presided over by Barbara Buttrick. Barbara Buttrick is one of the pioneers in women's boxing, remember? The WIBF is not associated with the similarly named International Boxing Federation, the IBF, which promotes men's and women's boxing. Okay? Yeah, not affiliated. There you have it. The some secondary sanctioning bodies in the world of boxing. Yeah, and just 5 boxers. That's unbelievable. 5 boxers that took all 4 belts at one time. Jermaine Taylor, Katie Taylor, but the order was Jermaine Taylor, Jessica McCaskill, Savannah Marshall, Katie Taylor, and this weekend, Demetri Bivol. This weekend. Just did it. And this weekend coming up is Javante Tank Davis, remember? Against Lamont Roach.
It's finally here. It's fight week. So come join us this Friday night from 8 p.m. till midnight for an amazing network event where you can mingle with fighters, trainers, podcasters, and executives, as well as some of your favorite YouTube personalities from the JBT and others. The cost is only $30 and includes entry, food, and entertainment. There will be a cash bar, door prizes, and much more. Get your ticket today via Cash App at $JBT Network 1. That's $JBT Network 1. Or call 410-322-4365 for more information. Space is limited, so get your spot today. Another great event brought to you by the JBT. Curtis Sewell, Treasurer.
Yeah, Melanie Queen, I received what you sent this morning too, and it's noted, okay? Yeah, you got, and you can pay at the door, you know? Friday night after 8 o'clock, once the event starts, you can get your ticket at the door because it probably will be space available, okay? There's still plenty of room in the building. So if you don't get your ticket before Friday, you can pull up at the event and pay at the event, okay? And Al Booger won the raffle last Friday for the ticket. He'll be seated right there by D1. Yep, for the event. Congratulations to Al Booger. And I think he bought his ticket on doing my show. Okay. So yeah. And we got door prizes. We're gonna have a trivia contest. You can win prizes. I'm making the questions so they're gonna be hard. Okay. Like what's Cash Sports the Box Story's government name? Nobody knows. Who founded the JBT? Multiple choice. Was it A, D1 from the Angry White Men, B, Remo from Let's Talk Fashion, C, Senior from the Rise Podcast, or D, J Hardcore from the Hardcore Boxing News? Who founded the JBT? Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun trivia contest for you can win prizes. Aunt McQueen in the building. You can win some prizes. I don't know what the prizes are gonna be, but It's going to be a great time. Friday, this weekend. Yeah. So join us if you're going to be in the area. And going to be some boxing personalities in there too. You know? I'm going to tell us who's going to be in the building. But all these great JBT people going to be in there. Put some faces to the voices. So, I mean, you meet them in person. Okay. Meet all these JBT people in person. We got Just Do Boxing coming up very shortly. Okay, I think. And tomorrow is going to be, everything got pushed back a day since I missed yesterday. So we're going to talk about the junior flyweight division tomorrow. 108. 108. Okay. Little history of the 108 when it started and all that kind of stuff. And then some former greats that competed there, and there's some current guys that currently fight there, some of the great fights and other significant stuff. We got Oregon Thursday. Friday, we got the Bob Father, the life and career of the Bob Father. Probably gonna have to do that on the way up the road to New York. Friday show, I'll probably be traveling. I'm gonna be in the co-pilot seat, so I can do my show on the way up Friday. The Bob Father. Okay? Yeah. So we still gonna have our show Friday. Okay? Do it from my phone. We're gonna talk about Bob Aaron. We did Don King last week, remember? Yeah. Because both of these men were very significant. Well, still is. They both still promoting. You know? Bob Father more so than Don King, but didn't Don King do the AB and who was it? AB got beat by who was it? Oh, Blair Cobb. Wasn't it Blair Cobb? I think Don King did that, right? AB and Blair Cobb, yes. So yeah. And it's Bob Father's tomorrow. We're gonna talk about his life and promotional career, all the big fights. You know, like I was saying when I did Don King, all those big names back in the day: Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Ali Frazier, Chavez, Oscar Floyd, Hearns, all of them at one time or another were under the banner of the Bob Father or Don King at one time or another. Every one of them. Foreman, Frazier, all of them. B-Hop, Tony, Roy Jones, Holyfield, Bo, all of them dealt with one of those two at one time or another. Because if you wanted the big fights back in them days, you had to, because that Bob Father and Don King was what was happening. Didn't exactly get along, but they got together and made those fights. Yes, they did. They got together. Blair to Flair. Okay, right, T-Hill. They got together and made those fights. They made some beautiful cards. That's why they were saying this last Crescendo was the best card ever. No way. I can name like 10 right off the top of my head was better than that. But it was a good card, don't get me wrong. A great night of fights, man. Yeah. Great fights. What's his boy, the guy that beat Bacoli, Joe whatever, I can't think of his name for the life of me. He has another good name to his record. His resume is getting good. He got Waller on it, AJ, now Bacoli. Zane. He is putting some big names on his record, man. Now, I don't know. I would like to see him and Bacoli again, like on a regular schedule, announce the fight like 6 months away, and they both go through a full camp and everything, you know. But hey, you can't use that as an excuse, but because Bacoli know what he's getting into. He signed, he came there and fought, he got stopped. So no excuses, you know? No excuses. Secure got the stoppage. Bivol and better be at. What a fight, man. I just don't see them doing it again. It's just something, you know, deep down in my mind saying we're not gonna see that again. Especially if you fight Benavidez first. Father Time is pulling up, man. You know, Benavidez is 40. So if you fight Benavidez, that'll be what? Summer? So Benavidez would have to be like the end of the year, right? You're not fighting every month and every other month nowadays. Now, if it was 1940, I could see him fighting Benavidez next month, and then Benavidez in April or something. That's how they did it back then. Remember, Jake LaMotta and Sugar Ray Robinson fought 3 weeks apart, second and third fight, and then a couple weeks later, Jake fought somebody else. So it was back then, but in 2025, nah. I don't know. I would think Bivol could beat Benavidez, though, man. But he stood in there 24 rounds with Beterbiev. Not only didn't get knocked out, never even went down, man. So, I don't know. But they say, styles make fights. So you don't know what would happen between him and Benavidez. But, man, if you can stand up in there with Beterbiev like that, you can stand up in there with anybody like that, man. So I would pick Bivol over Benavidez. But it would be a great fight. I would like to see Benavidez get it because he didn't get that Canelo fight he so deserved, man. So he deserved a big fight like that. I would love to see the young man get that fight. I would rather see the rubber match next, Bivol and Beterbiev, than the winner get Benavidez. But that's what I would like to see next. Because we've had 2 great fights, 24 rounds of great boxing, man. Couldn't ask for no better. 2 guys that both of them wanted it, competed hard, man. Went at it at their best. I think it was 2 split decisions, right? Can't ask for no better than that in boxing, man. I would like to see it again. Around, what was the last fight? October. Around June, around summertime. That's what I would like to see next. I don't know where Benavidez's name came from. Beterbiev said he wanted the rematch, so we've all got the rematch. So shouldn't Beterbiev deserve it, right? I don't know. I'm just a box historian. I don't know how the politics and all that work in it, But in a perfect world, we would be getting Bivol Beterbiev 3 around June or July, something like that, I would love to see that again. Probably be another nail-biting 12 rounds, because it's 50-50. 50-50 fight, man. Any way you look at it. 50-50 fight. I hope they do it again. Next. Because they have given us 2 great ones. But overall, a great card. We got a good one Saturday, too. I like that Rayo and Gary Russell fight, man. What y'all think about that one? That is going to be a good one. Wow. Yes. That could steal the show. That Rayo Gary Russell. Is that the co-main? I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think so either, T-Hill. I'm kind of like leaning against it right now. The trilogy. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get it. Especially if we fight Benavidez in between. Because then, wouldn't Beterbiev take another fight and then just add more on that 40-year-old body? Another fight on that 40-year-old body, man. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why what happened with the immediate rematch. They did it the last time. Give us the trilogy, man. That's what I want. I can't say it enough. Those guys have gave us 24 rounds of great boxing, man. Strategy, adjustments, high-level chess in there, man. But a boxing fan, I've been glued to the TV, scared to get up and go anywhere for all 24 of those rounds, man. In between the round, I'm running at full speed into the kitchen and back. Didn't want to miss a second of that, man. You know, those two fights were like that, man. Scared to leave the TV. Mm-hmm. But yeah, T Hill, I'm kind of thinking we might not get it, man. And they're going to be sad, leave that at 1-1. That's terrible. That's like Ali Frazier leaving theirs at 1-1, you know? Or Ward Gotti leaving it at 1-1. That's crazy. But that looks like, I think that's what it's going to end up being, especially if you fight Benavidez next. We're not getting Viterbi yet. Bivol again. But appreciate everybody stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the show today. We got the junior flyweight division tomorrow, 108. Then we just got one more after that. We came all the way from heavyweight, remember? Just Do Boxing is next. Durant Roach says he's going to test Tank's chin. Wow. Let's see, I lost it. I had it. Coming up on Just Do Boxing next. Lamont Roach says he's going to test Tank's chin. Eubank slaps egg on Ben's face. Schofield's exposed. Coming up next on Just Do Boxing. Okay. Ant McQueen, Melanin Queen, Crush the Legend, Warlock Boxing, Define Arnie 1, Al Booger, the winner of the ticket to the Lamont Roach, Javante Davis fight. Don't forget who the alternate is, Al Booger, if you can't make it. Thomas Hill, Mike Mazik, Miss Cass. Appreciate everybody for stopping by today. Join me tomorrow, because if it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian bringing you all that boxing history. Just Do Boxing straight ahead. This is Cass Sports. Appreciate y'all. Everybody have a great afternoon. I will see y'all around those JBT streets.